Hello students, welcome to lesson 5 on angle of elevation and depression. I hope you are all doing well. Good. In our previous lesson, we looked at example 4. We solved a question on example 4 and then I gave you an assignment. I hope you've all done the assignment. Good. Now in this lesson, we will continue with solving of questions. And we'll look at example 5, which is a little bit involving than example 4. Right. Now, before we begin, let's first look at the assignment. Good. So, as I've been telling you, the first thing for you to do is to read the question to understand. You then have to visualize the scenario being described, and then you draw a diagram using lines. In order to draw the diagram, you have to use the definition of angle of elevation to help you identify the point of observation and the object. I hope that is what you did. Good. Right. So in this question, we were to find the distance between 2 points to the nearest meter. Right. So let's look at the solution. Good. Now, if you followed the procedure correctly, this is the diagram you are to have. Okay? Good. So this should be the diagram. Now you are to find the distance between point A and point B. The distance between point A and point B. And looking at the diagram, to find the distance between point A and point B, you can first look for the distance between point A and point D, and then you add it to the distance between point D and point B. Okay, good. So to get the distance between point A and point D, okay, you have to first of all look for the appropriate trig ratio that connects the height of the pole, the angle of elevation here, and AD. So let's look at it. So from triangle ACD, tan 32 degrees will be equal to 15 on AD. So making AD the subject, AD will be equal to 15 on tan 32 degrees. And with the help of the calculator, AD will be giving us 24.0050 meters. So we now have AD. It's left with DB. So let's look at how to get DB. Good. So from triangle DCB, tan 48 degrees will be equal to 15 on DB. So making DB the subject, DB will be equal to 15 on tan 48 degrees. And with the help of the calculator, DB will be giving us 13.5061 meters. Good. And as we said or we saw earlier, to find AB, you have to add AD to DB. So we substitute the values and then we simplify. And we'll be having AB to be 37.5111 meters. Now we're told to leave our answer to the nearest meter. So therefore 37.5111 meters, okay, to the nearest meter will be giving us 38 meters. 38 meters. So you don't have to find it difficult to convert this one to the nearest meter. Alright, so students, this is the solution to the assignment. But remember, we have to conclude. So in conclusion, we'll say that the distance between the 2 points is 38 meters. The distance between the 2 points is 38 meters. So students, this is the solution to the assignment. Now, if you were able to do it, you have done well. Clap for yourselves. And those of you also who made small mistakes here and there, take your time, go through the solution, and you'll be fine. Okay? Good. So now, let's move on to our main business for the day, which is example 5. Right. So this is the question. Now, don't get scared. Just follow the procedure and you'll be okay. The first thing is for you to read the question to understand. Then you visualize the scenario being described. You then draw a diagram using what? Lines. And as I said, to help you draw the diagram, you have to use the definition of angle of elevation to identify the point of observation and the object. Right, so let's read the question to understand. 2 points, X and Z, are at the opposite sides of a tower and on the same level ground as the foot of the tower, Y. The angles of elevation of the top of the tower, W, from X and Z are 48 degrees and 68 degrees respectively. If X and Z are 25 meters apart, find the height of the tower to 2 decimal places. Right, so let's read it for the second time. 2 points, X and Z, are the opposite sides of a tower and on the same level ground as the foot of the tower, Y. The angles of elevation of the top of the tower, W, from X and Z are 48 degrees and 68 degrees respectively. If X and Z are 25 meters apart, find the height of the tower to 2 decimal places. Good. So now we have read the question, we have visualized it. It's left for us to draw the diagram. Now in drawing the diagram, we have to use the definition of angle of elevation to identify the point of observation and the object. Okay, good. So let's move on to the question and focus on angle of elevation. So let's read. The angles of elevation of the top of the tower W from X and Z are 48 degrees and 68 degrees respectively. So reading this statement, okay, we can deduce, or we will see that the point of observation, there are 2 of them. We have 2 points of observation and we have 1 object. Let's read it again. The angles of elevation of the top. So here the object is what? The top of the tower. So the object here is the top of the tower. From where? X and Z. So we have 1 object and we have 2 points of observations. 1 object, 2 points of observations. Good. So now that we have identified our object and the point of observation, let's take note of the other information that will help us draw the diagram. Right. So we have our point of observation, which is X and Z. And then we have our object to be the top of the tower. Okay, and these are the angles of elevation. And we've been told that X and Z are 25 meters apart. I hope you are following. Good. So these are the basic information that we need to draw the diagram. Right, so let's now proceed to draw the diagram. Good. Right, so we're told that there are 2 points, which is X and Z. So let's get, this is our X, this is our Z. And we're also told that they are the opposite sides of a tower. So let's get our tower. We're also told that the 2 points are on the same level ground as the foot of the tower. Okay, and the foot of the tower was labeled as Y. Right, good. Now we're also told that the angles of elevation of the top of the tower from point X, okay, and point Z are 48 degrees and 68 degrees respectively. And the top of the tower was labeled as W. I hope you are following. Good, good, good. Now we're also told that X and Z are 25 meters apart. So this is it. X and Z are 25 meters apart. Good. So student, this is our diagram. This is our diagram. Now don't forget to label the 90-degree angle. Okay, so the 90 here, 90 here, so that we'll get our right angle triangle. Right, now we're told to find the height of the tower. We're told to find the height of the tower. So looking at the diagram, the height of the tower will be WY. But to make our calculation simpler, we'll use just a letter to represent what the height of the tower, which is what? H. So let's use H for the height of the tower. Good. Now there are two ways to go about this question. Now we'll look at the first approach and then we'll look at the second approach later on. Okay? Good. Now, the first approach, this is how it goes. Now you realize that we've been given the distance between x and z to be what? 25. Okay, we've been given the distance to be 25. Now looking at the diagram, when we know the distance between x and y and we add it to the distance between y and z, it will be equal to what? The distance between x and what? And z, which is what? 25. So what it means is that 25 meters will be equal to xy plus what? Plus yz. So with this equation, we'll be able to find the height of what? Of the tower. So that is basically what we are going to use to get the height of the tower. Now you realize that the distance between xy was not given. The distance between yz was also not given. But we'll find it in terms of h. Okay, so we'll find the distance between x and y and then y and z in terms of what? H. Then we'll add it and equate it to 25. We'll simplify and we'll be able to get the value of what? Of h. So now let's proceed. Right. So looking at the diagram, we have two of them. So from the first right angle triangle, that is XWY. Okay, so from triangle XWY, the appropriate trig ratio that connects the height XY and then the 48 degrees is what? Tan. So we have tan 48 degrees, okay, equal to what? H, which is the opposite on what? XY. Okay, which is what? The adjacent. So making XY the subject, we are going to have XY tan 48, okay, will be equal to what? H. Then XY will be equal to H on tan 48. Okay, now here we'll need the help of what? The calculator. We'll need the help of the calculator. Now the XY, okay, the XY is the same as H times 1 on what? On tan 48. Okay, it's the same as H times 1 on what? Tan 48. So we'll find 1 on tan 48 and we'll multiply it by what? By H to get what? XY in terms of H. Good. So let's get the calculator. Right. So now we are looking for 1 on tan 48. Good. Right. So it's giving us 0.90040. So as I said, we approximate it to 4 decimal places. So it's going to be 0.9004. 0.9004. Right. So let's move on. So our xy, will be equal to 0.9004h. 0.9004h. Good. So this is our xy. Now we need what? Yz. We need yz. So from triangle YWZ. Okay, so from triangle YWZ. Okay, so let's look at it. From this triangle, tan 68 degrees will be what? H on what? On YZ. So let's look at it. So tan 68 degrees will be equal to opposite, which is the H, on what? Our YZ. I hope you are following. Good. So making YZ the subject, YZ, okay, tan 68 degrees will be equal to what? H. Okay, here also YZ, okay, will be equal to H on what? Tan 68. Good. So now, as we did earlier on, the YZ is the same as H times 1 on what? Tan 68. Okay, so with the help of the calculator, we have to find what? 1 on tan 68. Good. So let's close it. Right. So this one too will give us 0.4040 because we are approximating to 4 decimal places. Good. So 0.4040. Right. So it means that we are going to get our YZ, okay, to be 0.4040 H. Okay, so our YZ is what? 0.4040 what? H. Right. I hope you are following. Yes, just follow, you get it, good. So now we have our XY, we have our what? Our YZ. We have our XY, we have our YZ, and we know that XZ, okay, is equal to what? XY plus what? YZ. Okay, good. So now we know this relation from the diagram. Okay, so we can now substitute. Now our XZ was giving us what? 25. Okay, 25 from the diagram, and then XY we have calculated to be 0.9004 H. Okay, so this one plus our YZ, which is what? 0.4040 H. Right, so you realize that we have the equation in terms of what? H, so we can easily find what? Our H. Okay, good. Now adding the two, we are going to have 25 to be equal to 25 to be equal to what? 1.30, okay, 44, right? 44. 1.3044 H. You can verify from the calculator. 1.3044 H. So here we have to make what? H the subject. So we divide both sides by what? 1.3044. Right. So let's proceed. So our H will be equal to 25 on 1.3044. Okay, so H will be equal to, so now let's get the calculator. Right, so 25 on 1.3044. Right, so equal to, right, so we are getting 19.1659. okay, to 4 decimal places. So it's going to be what? 19.1659. 19.1659. Right. 19.1659. So we have 19.1659 meters as our h. But remember, we're told to approximate our answer to 2 decimal places. So now our h will be equal to, so 19.1659 meters to 2 decimal places is going to be what? 19, okay, point what? 17. So because after the second decimal place, the number there is what? 5. So we have to add 1 to the 6. So this is our final answer. So the height of the tower is 19.17 meters. So we have to conclude. So we conclude by saying, therefore, the height of the tower, therefore the height of the tower is, therefore the height of the tower is what? 19.17 meters. Good. So students, this is the solution to example 5. It's very simple and straightforward. Okay, so take your time, go through, and you'll be okay. All right. So this is how far we'll end on today's lesson. Okay, and you know I will not leave you without an assignment. So I have one assignment for you. Now take your time and then solve it for me. Okay, the next time we meet, we'll look at it before we continue. All right, good. So let's look at the assignment. All right, so this is the assignment. Just one question. Take your time, read, follow the procedure, and you'll be fine. Right. So students, till we meet again, revise, read ahead. Bye.